in any case, I just like to say that all I was told specifically by the Galactic Federation was I'm supposed to be here to remove the reptilians from planet Earth. That was my only job, is to get them out of here. That's it. And I signed up for that. And very specifically, right around 2019 was when the event started to ramp up towards that occasion. So I never realized of any of the things that I was doing, but I believe that when I was out there battling and removing these negative entities, I must have done it in my astral travel in my astral body, so to speak. And those things were very. It was very interesting because I think now I remember back then I asked I told whoever was in charge of this operation. I said to them something like, listen, I know I'm going to be out there doing all these things, and it's going to be really hard on my psyche for me to handle the information that's out there and the things that I will be doing. Could you just help me not remember any of this when it happens? So I was very absent-minded during the day about the things that was going on, but because of these dark entities and these dark energies do infiltrate human beings that have weaknesses, that have vices, and they have all these other crippling things that affect them. They allow these parasites to come into their body and just dominate and control them. They might even think they're having a thought of telepathy with a positive being. This person could just say, go ahead and attack this guy. This is the guy that needs to feel pain or hurt or do whatever you have to do. In any case, I felt these surroundings of negative people that always casually, nudged me in a certain way, or maybe even spread rumors about me or things like that in order to get their way. So you would find me maybe losing jobs, unexpectedly. I can give you a few examples. I mean, I remember very simple things like, I would drink coffee and I have probably a slight pain in my stomach, and I read somewhere, well, you can just have bananas, and bananas will help you with that. And it was just something that I did, and then just all of a sudden, the place where I went and got the bananas, raised to get them, they just stopped selling them. It almost felt like it was one thing that I knew about, and the very next week or a couple of weeks later, less than a week, they just stopped selling bananas. I'm like, hmm. I started to piece all these little things together. I'm like, there's something here. But I didn't mind or care too much because there was an invisible hand that was portraying all these things. I mean, how could you believe or trust or even pay attention to something that's provocative, but then doesn't quite even present itself as here I am, this is me, I'm doing this. So for me, it was just whatever. Yeah, it's happening. I get it. So at 2019, give or takes, I want to say very early on, it started ramping up because the operation of the removal of these negative entities started ramping up. So these negative human entities, beings, began to be a little more aggressive in a way that caused me to leave for a brief moment of time and have to come back and resurface again. So these beings are around, obviously, but it's not even a physical manifestation. It's more of, depending on the kind of negativity that you have, the people you surround yourself with, the kind of experiences that you're accustomed to having over and over again. And that, what I really mean is, if you don't have your heart center balance, if you're not grounded well enough, and then you have, let's say, and easily, very explainably, vices like alcohol or drugs, these allow those beings to interact with your body in a way that pretty much possess you quite seriously. And you could be a very healthy person and maybe have a drink, and if you're prone to having more alcohol than you're supposed to, or using certain kind of hard drugs, you are going to be pushed in that direction because these beings want to possess your body, because there's no more energy to give other than the energy for yourself that you have for them. So I want you to keep that in mind. And for me, it's I've pretty much reached another level where this was increasing slowly. It will slowly increase, okay? And by the time that it reached an apex, I want to say maybe that's right around where COVID started, and then it just started to slowly dwindle down to the point of where we are now. Which for me, I'm connecting again and not thinking too much about a third dimensional experience. And I love seeing it play around me. I like how it looks at me to interact with it, because you have to have darkness and you have to have light. And I'm gonna reach a topic of certain things that I like to say to myself, and I'm gonna give you some of my basic rules of how I live my life, because it's pertinent and important for you to know this, so you can follow your own guidance. Maybe use the examples that I have to create your own, and you're welcome here to participate with this beautiful energy that we share, all of us as human beings, so that we can all be in the right place at the right time and enjoy the moments of happiness that consume and occupy all of our surroundings, because that energy field is absolutely amazing. It's beautiful. So I'd like to leave you all with that. It's a very personal dark night of the soul journey. It involves a lot of paranormal things that I like to not talk about, because it really reached home for me. So, and it's not really something I like to speak about very publicly, but a lot of you would know that it was a period in time of my life where things weren't actually, you know, sliding in the right direction, so to speak. I'd like to leave you with this video. I'd like to thank you for watching. And again, stay beautiful, stay humble, and have a good rest of your day.